Warning before we start, these videos are little cuckoo, okay? For anybody that's ever watched these can get pretty dark. We're talking about real crazy people in the world, people that are real murderers and real psychos. So, just a warning. Some things can be triggering maybe, and shit like that. So just, for warning. Yeah.
On the afternoon
Honestly, I don't
of
like any
June
fries
9th,
that get reheated, I'm gonna be real.
2017, 26-year-old environmental sciences student Yingying Zheng was traveling on a bus to an off-campus apartment complex in Urbana, Illinois, where she was planning to sign a new lease for an apartment. She was running late and sent a text message to the leasing agent to inform them that she would arrive just after 2 p.m. After riding on one bus, she exited and tried to transfer to another, yet mistakenly waited on the wrong side of the street for boarding and missed it. She walked to the next bus stop a few blocks away at the corner of North Goodwin Avenue, where surveillance showed that a black Saturn Astra passed her by at exactly 2 p.m. It then circled back around and stopped where she was waiting at 2:03 p.m. She spoke to the driver for approximately 1 minute and then got in the car before it drove away.
You're not gonna sit here and make us watch a whole minute of this. Okay. Okay, we're watching the whole minute.
The leasing agent sent her a text message at approximately 2:38, but received no reply. As the hours passed, Zheng's friends, aware of her errand and expecting her to return quickly, grew increasingly worried, and a missing persons report was filed to police at exactly 9:24 p.m. that night. The University of Illinois helped coordinate search efforts on and around campus. Yingying's family flew into the U.S., and a reward of $50,000 was offered for information leading to her whereabouts, but the local authorities received no leads. It was on the 12th of June, however, when the FBI discovered the surveillance footage capturing Yingying's last known location. They were unable to discern the license plate number of the vehicle from the footage, yet they were able to determine that there were 18 four-door Saturn Astras registered to owners in the state of Illinois. One of the owners was 27-year-old Brendt Christensen, a PhD student at the University of Illinois who had graduated with a master's degree in physics and who had been married for 4 years to his high school sweetheart, Michelle Zortman. Investigators interviewed him on June 12th and inspected his car. When questioned, he reportedly claimed that he did not remember what he was doing at the time of Yingying's disappearance, but also stated he was most likely sleeping or playing video games. The police took his contact information, and he was released after just a 9-minute interview and a 5-minute inspection of his vehicle. 2 days later, upon reviewing the surveillance footage, investigators observed that the car's sunroof was similar to that of Christensen's, but more notably that the vehicle in the surveillance had a cracked hubcap, as did the vehicle of Christensen, and who at that moment became the prime suspect. He was called in by police in the late hours of Wednesday night, June 14th, requesting that he come in to discuss what they stated was an important matter regarding Yingying's disappearance. Christensen agreed, and an FBI investigator picked him up from his home and drove him to the Champaign Police Department at around 12 a.m.
Champaign.
24, I'm trying to think.
It's 12 a.m. Holy shit.
24 hours.
And I assume you guys came at midnight, that this is a priority, so I assume that it would get too fast.
You like find out exactly if you're exactly gaming. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Dude, my ass is itchy, bro.
Like I said, you're home. My name is Anthony Manganaro. I'm especially with the FBI. I'm assigned here at Champaign. And then this is Eric?
Yeah, Detective Eric Stuyvesant.
Detective with
wait, what did he put on the ground?
Okay.
He's gonna run it over. Is that his phone?
The disappearance of Ms. Yingying. Because we are in my offices and it's late at night, I'm going to read you your advice of rights. Okay. Again, this is a voluntary interview, so at any time you're done, we'll drive you back home. That's the end of it.
You know what's crazy is that they literally say this is voluntary. Why doesn't this dumbass motherfucker just leave? Like, honestly, why would you want to? I mean, he did it, or he did something. Okay, he's definitely guilty. We already know this. And if he knows he's guilty of doing something that he clearly lied to the police about, Why doesn't he just leave and stop incriminating himself further? Clearly, all they have is just a tiny lead. They don't have any proof. So just keep it that way and get a fucking lawyer. I'm just saying, like, these criminals are stupid as fuck.
You spoke with my colleague Joel. I've briefly been able to
Yeah,
talk
if you
to
leave, you're sus, but if you're here, you're still sus and you're incriminating yourself further. No matter what, you know, it's the better choice to just be to leave and get a lawyer. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
We've been kind of running all over the state. So if you can kind of...
These criminals are stupid as fuck, dude.
A recap of what you told him, I would appreciate it. Our investigation, as I'm sure Joel probably told you, is the disappearance of this woman, this young lady, and the most viable tip that we had referred to a black Saturn Astra. So that's why he came to talk to you the other day. Do you remember what you told him? And I'm not going to hold you to it if there are certain details you forget.
So they came...
The suspect had just been read his rights and essentially made aware that he is now a suspect. Yet instead of confronting the situation and demanding why he is being put in such an uncomfortable position at such a late hour, he calmly accepts and responds in a non-adversarial manner. Imagine yourself in his position. You have nothing to do with this young woman's disappearance, yet you are being hassled and even accused by police in a passive yet blatant fashion. You would most likely demand to know exactly why you were being questioned in such a manner and exhibit some form of protest or objection at the current circumstances.
But he knows he's guilty, so he's just going to try to instantly go to defending himself.
In the area. I know it's a pretty rare car, so...
They're too cocky in their ability to lie. That's true.
Yeah.
Just pick up on the absolute tiniest
he asked
things.
where my wife and I were.
These detectives are smart as fuck, dude.
I think it was 2 or 3 on Friday. And, I mean, I graduated a couple weeks ago, so I'm looking for jobs right now. So, I mean, I was either playing video games on my computer or taking an afternoon nap.
Look how shaky he is, bro.
I was unable to produce an alibi. I looked into certain things to try and...
Wait.
Either playing video games on my computer or taking an afternoon nap. So, I was unable to produce an alibi.
Bro, you know these systems track your game, like literally what you just said, Benji. They track your game activity. You could just go into the settings or whatever and just see when you played. They can do that. Or your probably the internet, your ISP could just probably look at the activity within the last like week and just see, you know, what things were being used, things were using the internet at what times. You know, that's easily an alibi. But you know what, bitch, you can't use an alibi because it was not true.
I looked into certain things to try and see if I could get some kind of info for an alibi. I sent some texts around that time, but none exactly between 2 and 3.
He stated that he was looking for texts that he may have sent during the time in question for
Why
the
would
purpose
that
of producing an alibi.
That makes no
Yet
sense.
He was clearly unaware that police would later confirm that he was not playing video games at any point during the day in question either. Even when offline, digital forensics are able to uncover the exact time a game was played and how long it was played for, which is far easier to determine on a computer than it is on a video game console like a PlayStation or Xbox. This wouldn't have completely refuted his alibi, as the suspect was smart enough to provide 2 possibilities. The narrative that he could have been sleeping at the time would still have credibility.
That's true.
I let them come in the apartments. They searched for stuff.
On your
I
PC,
let
they
them
could
come
ask
in
what
the
game you're
car,
playing and then
searched
go
for
to the
stuff there.
publisher. Nah, it'd most likely be like the
That's pretty much it.
internet or
10
like
minutes, 15 minutes.
the game company.
What'd you graduate in?
The publisher wouldn't do anything, I don't think.
Physics.
Yes.
Unless it's like a multiplayer online game, then
You're
maybe.
Thanks.
I'm assuming that's over at the U of I there?
Yes.
Okay. You said your wife was out of town.
Yes.
The guys mentioned something about Wisconsin.
Correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You guys are originally from there, or is
Yes.
that okay? Do you know what days she was in Wisconsin?
like late Thursday night, early Friday morning until Sunday evening.
You mentioned that you thought you possibly sent text messages between, you know, the hours of 2 or 3, so you weren't able to find any.
That's correct.
Do you recall any text
Wait.
message they sent that day, or like?
Wait. I just realized something. He just screwed his alibi up. So if they don't find anything video game related, he wasn't playing games at that time, right? And his other possibility was sleeping. Then how would he have sent text messages at that time? Because he said he sent text messages around that time, but not exactly between 2 and 3. So if he sent one beforehand and after, then he wasn't sleeping. And now he just fucked his alibi up. I'm literally so smart.
They didn't look through the phone, but I was showing them texts on my phone. Like, someone sent me a text at like 1:30. I responded at
1:30.
That's like 3:45 or something like that. So, there are texts around it.
Yeah, but maybe not.
Not exactly between 2 and 3, and that's why I think I was probably lying down and sleeping, just because like.
Wait, so
now,
like, okay, sorry for pausing so much, but knowing that he did do something to the girl, that's fucked. Because that means someone sent a text at 1:30. He responded like 2 hours later, like literally, like an hour and 45 minutes after her disappearance. Jesus.
Do stuff in the morning.
So whatever happened lasted over an hour and a half.
You know, I lie down to sleep, wake up, respond. It definitely fits.
Okay.
So.
Oh yeah, no, they know
that
already. They know now.
Kind of pattern of kind of looking for jobs, kind of having a little relaxation.
They because the hubcap.
Is that typical of the entire week prior?
Looking for unfamiliar patterns in both the suspect and the missing person's behavior is routine procedure in a missing persons investigation. The question is posed to the suspect in a delusive manner, as anything he says at this point will not be taken at face value. The investigators will be relying solely on forensics and witness statements to determine any shifts in behavioral patterns during the week in question.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. It's...
Let me turn on subtitles, by the way, sorry.
Specifically, if you sent any
Wait, there's no subtitles.
out online, or if you
Weird.
visited any places
on Friday
throughout the week.
Throughout the week, I haven't had any in-person interviews. I had a phone interview on Thursday, and
anything on Friday. Okay. Do you have any questions for me before?
Why am I under suspicion? Is it just my car, or is there anything else?
I mean, that's, you know, a large portion. I mean, it is a very unique car. Like I said, our search warrant is just for the car.
Yeah.
So we can,
Yeah.
you know, look into it. We can, of course, see what we can find, and of course, you could also turn around and exonerate you completely. I mean, we're talking about a very rare car.
Yeah.
So,
The suspect cannot be detained at this moment and has just showed the first sign of contention. The first direct confrontation is yet to take place, and detectives will always plan for it to be initiated by them. For this reason, the lead investigator switches the suspect's focus to a less confrontational matter in order to put him at ease before the first confrontation begins. The detectives want to induce anxiety in the suspect, but it needs to be done at the right time to have the most advantageous effect.
Yeah.
how long were you at the U of I? Did you undergrad there as well?
No, I did my undergrad at UW-Madison.
Well, that would be a dope job, also terrifying. What, being a detective?
I was actually in a PhD program, but decided I didn't want a PhD, so I just kind of left with the master's.
Got it. I like the campus.
It's all right.
Not too bad.
It's all right.
Did you meet your wife there? Or?
No, we actually grew up in the same hometown. Didn't really know each other until end of high school. So we both moved to Madison when I went to undergrad, and then moved here.
Cool. Do you have any questions, Eric?
Yeah, when we were talking about Friday, the day in question on the night.
So this guy has like an incredible job, went to college, has a wife of 4 years that was his high school sweetheart, and he just throws it all away For what? I'm very interested to see the reasoning behind what he did, because that's terrible. You have an amazing life where you just do this. You know what I mean? The way they extract the cool truth is cool. I agree.
You said you played video games all day on Friday?
Yeah.
Is it just between the time period that he's asking about, or just literally all day?
Literally all day.
Later refuted.
At moments, not really hanging out with too many people or talking to too many people. My wife and the girl I talked to, she was busy. My wife was out of town, so it's like, well, I'm alone today. So,
wait, so he's cheating on his wife?
You didn't go cruising camping?
Or was it like a friend?
I did on Saturday, but I mean, getting a little stir crazy, just decided to go out for a drive on Saturday. But
did you go out to eat or anything? Go any places?
No, I didn't go out to eat.
Whenever two investigators are conducting an interrogation, they will always decide which one of them will be initiating the confrontation beforehand. Experienced investigators are often familiar enough with nonverbal cues that even a slight pause or look will be enough to signal the start of the encounter.
Alright, hold on. That's cool. He gave him a fucking cue. That's crazy. Alright, hold on. I want to get my pizza. It's about to be done. We're back. I'm back with Oreos.
Look, you know that we didn't bring you all the way up here to talk about video games and what you had for lunch that day.
Yep.
Why do you think that we brought you up here?
Because the car I own was seen picking up a girl that's missing.
The confrontation is initiated in the form of a question, and the suspect is put on the spot. Instead of responding to the confrontation with a confrontation of his own, which is a common reaction for a truthful subject, he tries to give a justifiable reason as to why he is being questioned without acknowledging the severity of that same element. He's trying to avoid the confrontation.
Yeah.
So who was driving that car other than you on Friday night? On Friday the 9th. You're driving your car on the 9th, weren't you?
Does anybody else have access to that car?
No one has access to that car.
Okay.
So how many sets of keys do we have that car?
2.
And where were they on the Friday?
One. I would have had one. My wife would have had one.
And hers were in Wisconsin, right? Yeah. And what do you keep on that keychain? You keep both sets of keys, right? One for the Camaro, or do you have separate sets?
I have one keychain, but sometimes I take the Camaro keys off of it. So.
Now let's talk specifically about Friday. Okay.
He's trying to extract the most information out of him as
You went to
possible.
school for how long at the U of I?
Since 2013.
Since 2013.
Yeah, so you're very familiar with our campus.
Not really. I never really talked to anyone. So
you're kind of a loner?
Yeah.
But specifically on that day, okay, when you originally told the agents that came to your apartment that you just played video games all day long, and you didn't leave the apartment.
Yeah.
But it's fair to say that we know that that's not true, correct?
Uh-oh.
Why would I lie? I mean,
maybe there's some misunderstanding.
Why would I lie? I don't know, because you
Like I
probably
said,
fucking
we're
murdered
not
somebody.
just looking for a needle in a haystack. I'm sorry, let me take that back. We are looking for a needle in a haystack.
yeah.
But my point is, you're making it sound like we're just...
They're looking for a needle in a haystack, but they got a fucking metal detector, bitch. Beep, 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 beep. And they found you!
We just randomly came across your vehicle of the 1400 Astros that are in the state of Illinois.
I have
So what would have happened that day that brings us to you?
You guys didn't see that.
probably that I live in Champaign.
The suspect once again refuses to acknowledge the severity of the confrontation and offers a justifiable reason as to why he is being questioned in
That's
such a
true, though.
manner.
I mean,
Damn.
I've never seen one before, an Astra. So,
Okay.
No, well, Believe me when I say that the full weight and force of the FBI is going to descend on that vehicle. And all that entails. Okay. Right now, my primary concern and why I've been out till midnight, and these guys have been out till midnight every single night, is we're trying to find this girl. It's raining outside, it's nasty. She's a foreign student who's only been here for a few weeks. I want to find her.
Jesus.
I'm asking for help.
I know. I mean,
I've got her getting into your car. I need to know why.
Yeah, no refutal.
there's
Brent, I need to know why she's getting into your car, and I need to know where she went.
If we can help her, we need it done now.
Hello?
We need to move on from this.
It's been like 6 days now.
I don't know what to say. Sorry.
And you've been at the U of I for how long?
3 years, 3.
And that you know what we do. I work in the Detectives Bureau at the U of I, and you know what we have access to. Cameras.
Mmm.
Do you think that we're not going to track a vehicle all over campus? We control kiosks at bus stops. We can look in buses. We can look in every
That's
building
fucking
out on the
crazy.
streets. And you're telling me that I didn't see you driving your car on Goodwin? That I didn't see you driving down Wright Street and turning on right in front of parking where everybody pays their tickets and driving down University to Goodwin?
Jesus.
And then you see her standing on that corner in that shade tree, didn't you? That's where you first saw her. And then you turned on Clark.
Dude, imagine
we
you're
still
this
have
guy
cameras.
right now. Imagine you're this guy. You did this incredible crime, and you're just now finding out for the first time they got so much shit on you that you didn't even realize. You're not going into this that it was all just like it's just the same car, whatever. They don't know anything, and now they just all of a sudden look, dude. We saw you driving your car. Bitch.
I've seen the videos. I didn't see me.
You've seen what we've allowed you to see.
Damn.
See the stuff that you're talking about.
Do you think that we brought you up here to show you video? We want to understand why you did it.
Yeah.
We want to understand why you stopped her to pick her up. Was it to give her a ride? Are you afraid to tell us that you gave her a ride? Maybe you wanted to make a couple bucks as an Uber driver, and she told you I had to go sign a lease at One North, and you're like, oh, I know where that's at. I'll drop you off. If you're afraid to tell us that you gave her a ride someplace, we can work with you there.
A familiar technique that has no official name but is widely recognized and routinely put into practice. The detective is essentially trying to get one foot in the door by aiming for a lower level of initial
We've seen this in
admittance.
other videos.
He is aware the suspect is unlikely to provide an outright confession, but more likely to at least acknowledge that he was driving the car that picked up the victim, and even more likely to do so when afforded an exit strategy. He is also given a justification as to why he has been reluctant to divulge this information up to this point. You will now see the suspect start to physically shake as his mind races back and forth as to whether to take the bait or not.
Damn.
But I know that you picked her up. I know you did. I saw you in your shirt, arms fully extended. Where did you drop her off at? She was looking for a ride. She had missed her bus. She told you she was going to One North, so where did you drop her off at?
Say it. Say it. Say it.
Maybe I'm getting my days mixed up then.
Okay.
I thought I drove around on Saturday.
Wait. I missed it.
Maybe I'm getting my days mixed up then.
Okay.
I thought I drove around on Saturday. I did pick a girl up. I don't remember where.
Okay.
I saw her picture. I don't think it was her though.
Do you remember the girl's name that you picked up?
No, she was talking very broken English.
Okay. Tell us about what happened.
Yep.
What time of day was
Dude, he's so
Good
nervous.
afternoon. I don't really remember.
that? Okay.
I was just driving around. I saw a girl and she was very distressed.
Okay.
He's so his demeanor completely changed. Like we're at 2053. Let's just go back to the beginning. Boom, casual, just chilling. You know, he's like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. They're not gonna catch me. Then boom, yeah, I told a girl, she was speaking very broken English.
Stopped my car and looked at her.
Hey,
Asked her if
thank
she
you,
wanted
brother.
to talk to her for a
If
little
you
bit.
when you start streaming, bro, I'll pull you up. I got you with the
I
liquor.
took
All
a
right.
short ride, a couple blocks.
Have a good rest of your day, man. Have a good stream.
Okay.
That's all it was.
Was this when you got on the north side of the railroad tracks on Goodwin? When you went across University and you drove on north?
Thanks for the alert.
Did you let her out by the hospital or by the railroad tracks? Or where did you let her out at?
I don't really remember specifics.
Was it close to where you picked her up?
Could have
it
just
was
denied
relatively
everything.
close.
He could
It was in a
have.
residential area.
Literally,
Okay.
this entire thing, like, he could have just, like, we even said this in the beginning, like, these criminals, like, this is a voluntary, well, I think this interrogation is, he has to be here because this is, like, a foreign warrant. But the first one that they pulled him into, oh, no, maybe it was this one. No, it was this one. Yeah, this is voluntary. He can leave at any time. No, it was this one, yeah. So literally, this entire interrogation is voluntary, and they told him that in the beginning. Yet he chose to stay and do the entire interrogation for no reason. He just chose to stay there, and he could have just left. They literally said you can choose whenever you want to go home and just leave. Yet he just chose to stay. Like what? If you're a criminal, you're a really dumb criminal. If you're just sitting there, willingly giving them information, like either way, you're gonna look sus. So you might as well just go home, get a lawyer, and, you know, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? If you really want to get away with it. Just saying.
Reason to.
Okay.
I mean,
When you say she freaked out, what did she
Exactly.
do? Did she start throwing things at you? Did she scratch you? It looks like you have a scratch on your right bicep there. Is that from...
I scratched myself in my sleep. That's from me.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
So she just freaked out. So she's
Same
sitting
thing
in
they
the
always
front
say.
passenger seat of your vehicle? Okay. Has anybody else sat in that front passenger seat since she got out of the car?
probably. Not with me, but with my wife, probably. I mean,
So other than your wife, who else sat in the front passenger seat with
Thanks,
you
man.
that you know?
maybe a guy she's hanging out with.
Your wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't
Okay,
think
so-
it was her.
And if it's her, not again.
Okay.
I want to find this girl because I know she's alone and scared out there, and we
Yeah.
didn't have any contact with her. So you said you picked her up.
Yeah.
You went a couple blocks away to a residential area. Do you remember if you went north?
I went north for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I know my criminal track license.
Yeah. Okay. So you went
So
north.
that was relatively close to Loomis, so.
All right. To where?
It was relatively close to Loomis. I'm somewhat
Loomis?
familiar with that area.
Mm.
And she said something like turn left after a couple blocks. Maybe she said something else because that's really when she started freaking out. And she wanted to get out of the car, get out, tried pulling the door. It's locked because the car auto locks.
Mm-hmm.
I unlocked, she got out. That was it.
Where were the streets at? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Do you remember what she was wearing?
No, I don't.
Why not? You should
What was
remember
her
something.
ethnicity? You said she had trouble speaking English. What was
She was
her-
Asian.
Hell
She was
yeah.
Asian.
Okay.
I'm glad it's doing really well,
What
KDO.
do you think? How old do you think she was? Do you think she was a grad student, undergrad? Was she
My
somebody?
guess was about 20.
Okay.
My guess was about 20. her
She's
hair
26.
ish, kind of weird.
Wait, so how do you remember her hair length and like her age, but you can't remember the fucking colors of her shirt?
People apart from one another. Sorry.
Well, you would remember
No,
this
that's-
very specific though, because when you pulled up to her, you rolled your window down, she leaned into your car, so you were looking right at her face. And what does she have on her face? What does she have on her head? You were looking right at her. You don't remember?
So you remember her hair length that's down under her shoulder, but you can't remember what was like a
Was
hat
she
she was wearing.
glasses? Did she have a ball cap on?
The detectives continue to inquire over the missing person's appearance in the hopes that the suspect will give them an accurate response. If they can ascertain that the suspect's memory is clear enough to accurately recollect what clothing an individual was wearing at a particular time, it will enable them to cut through claims of a poor memory when inquiring into separate matters that occurred during that same time period. If the suspect is guilty, it would be in his best interest to continue to assert that he can't remember. He has already stated that she was Asian and had poor English, yet these general details are far easier to remember than particulars, such as specific articles of clothing, which detectives are now
Exactly.
trying to trap him with.
So basically this this girl it went missing, and then they found one of the security cameras on campus saw her getting into a car that, well, it was this guy's car, and the specific car, there was only 14 of them in that state or city or something like that. And so what they did was they went to all the car people that owned the cars and found that this guy was the one that lived in her city, right? And with the car, and they also found that on the car, one of the hubcaps were cracked. Guess whose hubcap was also cracked? This guy's. So easily, you know, he was a main suspect. They put a warrant on him because of the car, and that's how they got him into the interrogation. Fucking easy clap.
What did she tell you whenever you rolled down the window?
Hydrate?
Chatting
Okay.
with her?
I'm gonna have
She
to
looked
pee, dude.
distressed,
It's like my 4th water bottle today.
Do you remember specifically what she said to you?
I asked her if something was wrong.
Good. I want you to pee.
What'd she say to that?
She said, I'm late, I need to get somewhere, or something like this. I was not exactly out of it, but just kind of like, oh, I'm going to help this friendly person, so I'm going to in the first place.
No, yeah, I'm gonna help this friendly person.
So she
He's
said
such a
she was
good
running
guy.
late for something?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, well, can you ride? Because again, I was just driving around. So,
Did she say where she was trying to get to? You mentioned you were showing me the phone with the map.
she said she had a meeting with her professor. When I told her my name, she didn't really hear it, so I had to say it again a few times. Her English was really bad. Maybe I wasn't speaking properly either. Yeah, I mean, we really
What?
didn't talk about much. There really wasn't much said. She looked freaked out, so I took her to ride.
So how long do you think that she was in your car for?
Less than 5 minutes. Not long
Less
at
than
all.
5 minutes.
Not long at all. There's just a few blocks, and I apparently took a wrong turn compared to what she said, and that was enough to spook her. I don't know.
So when you crossed the railroad tracks, did you turn to the left or to the right?
I don't remember railroad tracks.
So you said you kicked her out of the car in a residential neighborhood.
She got out of the car. I didn't.
Oh, she got out of the car?
She wanted to get out. Like, that's why I let her out.
Okay, she was freaking out.
Dude, what this
Because-
cop is doing is he's like bringing up random details that weren't true just to test out if he would, like, you know, make up something on the spot, or if he would keep what his alibi, whatever it is. So that's what I think that's what I think he's doing. He's snitching on himself. Yeah.
Because she thought you took a wrong turn.
Yeah, and
I mean, being there and
so-
talking to them, you're basically snitching on
So-
yourself at that point.
Yeah. And she tried to open the door, but again, it was locked.
Don't catch any little
Auto
mistake you
locks.
make, man.
I obviously wanted to get out. I'm not going to keep someone I barely know in my car.
Bullshit. Pick up and drop off points.
Again, I was driving around a decent amount beforehand. I don't remember exactly where I did beforehand.
Yeah, you were definitely driving all over campus, and you were by yourself, and you weren't playing video games all day. So why would you tell us that? Why would you tell the FBI that comes to your house?
I don't. Maybe I mixed up the days. I mean, I thought I was doing it Saturday.
Wait,
So
how'd you mix up the days if you look? Wait. So, but you saw the text messages on your phone, dog. Those have the days. How would you mix it up if it literally said the? Dude, this guy would get straight up fucked in court, man.
Those two agents were at your house talking to you about when they came over.
Friday. That's why. I mean,
Friday is a day, or Friday, or they're there to ask you if you picked up an Asian female and gave her a ride.
about Friday. I mean, they were asking me about Friday between 2 and 3. So I told them. I mean, maybe I got my days mixed up. You know, I said a little bit ago. I thought I was doing this Saturday.
But you didn't bother to tell them, oh, I didn't. I played video games all day Friday, detective, but I actually did pick up a female on Saturday. You didn't feel the need to give them that information?
No, they didn't ask for it. They didn't ask.
I mean,
They said Friday. They didn't
The
ask
lead
for
investigator
Saturday.
makes the mistake of interrupting the suspect during a direct confrontation. He is understandably getting impatient, and is at this moment more focused on gathering pretext for cross-examination at a later stage.
All right, so you go northbound through University. Where do you go next? Do you remember?
I turned left, so it looks like I did go past University.
I'm going to ask a personal question. Don't take it the wrong way. You mentioned your wife went on vacation with another friend. You mentioned that there's another guy she hangs out with. You mentioned there was another girl you hang out with. Do you guys have a
We're in an
fairly
open
open
relationship.
Okay, that makes
She has
sense.
a boyfriend as well.
Okay.
Some kind of strain between us as well, in an unrelated way.
Okay.
It's not because of the open relationship; it's just a strain. So
Every marriage goes through some rough patches.
yeah,
You know.
I mean,
So maybe it's not a
Always
good,
have
very good
gone on
marriage.
That strain.
The detectives are now building a foundation for the reframing technique. The fact the suspect has been going through a rocky marriage will now be afforded to him as a justification for the crimes he committed at a later stage.
Goddamn.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I didn't tell her that I did this because I was scared that, I mean, oh great, now this is happening. I didn't tell her.
Did she go to Wisconsin with a boy or another girlfriend?
Guy.
How'd that make you feel when she went away for the weekend, this long weekend with that guy?
Lonely.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's okay. Those are normal human feelings.
Oh, little baby got lonely,
Feel hurt.
so he went to go kill somebody.
Yeah, but, I mean, she's been seeing Seth for a while.
But still, she's your wife, and it's tough. You know, even if you're in an open relationship like that, where it's tough to see somebody you care about, that you love, to go someplace else with somebody else and not include you.
I would never go in an open relationship. It's either A, we're in a relationship, or B, we're just
Is that
not
why
gonna be in a
you're driving
relationship.
around campus all day?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go
All
fuck
Friday
somebody else, dude,
with your sister?
I'm not even gonna try.
Trying to
No,
find
thank
my
you.
head. Yeah, more or less.
That's understandable.
And I'm stir crazy, I was lonely. And I thought it was Saturday. So,
Did you talk to any other girls that day?
no.
Did you talk to any other girls on Saturday, or did you stay home Saturday?
No. Once again, days mixed up.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
I'm not trying to
when
trip
I
you up
was-
on the days.
When I was driving, I'll put it in a clear way then. When I was driving around, she was the only person I talked to.
Okay, fair enough.
Do
Do you remember what time you
No,
started
I don't think
driving
that
on
makes you a
campus that
cuck.
day?
I think that just makes you. I think it's kind of desperation that makes you do something like that. I think it's I mean, of course it depends. I think relationship to relationship, but I think a my instant view of an open relationship is that, you know, one person clearly don't one person of that relationship probably wanted that open relationship, not both of them. You know what I mean? Unless it's a both. I mean, there are like situations where both of them do just want someone to, you know, live with and be like a really close roommate, and also want to go and just do it with anybody they want. So in those scenarios, okay, that's fine. Both of them are kind of just doing what they want. But there's also scenarios where it's like one person wants a open relationship and one person doesn't. Yet they're just like, well, I think, you know, we're just in a rough patch, so, you know, we'll get through it. So I guess I just like kind of let her do what she wants, or let him do what he wants, and, you know, and maybe one day we'll get back to normal. We'll get back to the way things were. Yet most of the time it doesn't end like that, because usually the other person finds somebody that they do care about more than the person they're in a relationship with, right? And I think in those scenarios you can consider them like a cuck, but I just kind of feel bad because it's just like it just feels more like lonely than anything. You know what I mean? And they're just kind of hoping for this never gonna happen relationship.
The suspect was driving around for over 2 hours before he picked up the victim, which was used to assert the argument that he was premeditating an abduction.
Do you remember driving off campus in Urbana, into a residential neighborhood in Urbana?
In Urbana? If I did, it wasn't that far.
Were you in Orchard Downs?
Orchard Downs.
Where all of our married student housing is. There's a large Asian community that lives out there. Are you driving around Orchard Downs?
I did go to Orchard Downs for a little bit, but there was construction, so I turned back.
This was used to assert the argument that not only was the abduction premeditated, but he was specifically targeting a female of Asian ethnicity.
So you were cruising around campus a bit, trying to clear your head.
Yep.
Your wife was up in Wisconsin with her boyfriend. While you were cruising around, you saw Miss Ying Ying. She appeared very distressed. Is that correct?
If it was her, yeah. I mean, again, I don't... If I recognized her, I would have told the agents that came on Monday or Tuesday, whenever it was, that it was her.
Okay.
Like...
So that's what he's trying to cover up.
I knew she was missing. I picked up an Asian girl. I thought she was about 20.
When she said she was distressed...
I mean, if you picked up an Asian girl and you knew the girl that was abducted was also Asian, wouldn't a normal person that wants to help find her put two and two together? It's like, you know, you picked up an Asian girl the day, no, apparently in your head the day before, you know, actually no, the day of the abduction. So you pick up this Asian girl the day of abduction, and you don't think maybe I should tell them that I picked up another, you know, possibly the same Asian girl. Yeah, exactly. I mean, at this point, you might as well. It's like there's too many things to put him in prison for at this point. Like, there's too many things that they could bring up to the court, to the judge, that's gonna throw him in prison. He's made himself guilty. It's done. He's
Said that
he's
she
done,
looked
dude.
distressed.
Easy
What
clap.
did she say to you when you rolled your window down and talked to her?
She said she was late for something.
Other than that, did she tell you what it was?
She
Or
said
where it
she
was
had
at?
a meeting with her professor.
Again, my my theory is that she didn't get out of the car. I'm just being open with you. My theory is she was in there a little bit longer.
The lead detective is now using the same technique as the second detective used earlier to gain the initial admittance from the suspect. He doesn't
Damn.
directly accuse the suspect of abduction, but is trying to gain further admittance past what the suspect has already acknowledged, being that he simply picked up and dropped off Yin Ying after she panicked.
I'd like you to be more forthcoming with me because, again, I need to find where she is.
We have 600 Chinese students that have volunteered to look for her.
God
What I can
damn.
tell you is that we will find her.
God
When
damn.
we find
600.
Is up to you. Because you know, and we know, that she didn't just get out of your car. So we need to know she is now, so that we can move forward from this. But if you maintain that she just got out of the car and walked away, it's very difficult for us to move forward.
Were you hoping for just kind of like a quick tryst with her, or see if trying to pick her up?
I mean, that would have been nice, but
It takes skill to be this bad at lying.
Do you have, I'm going to ask you a weird question, and a lot of us have fetishes. How would you describe your relationship with your wife? Are you guys into certain things? Do you like
Hey, where is
porn?
this
Do you
conversation going, bro?
we're pretty vanilla together. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We have some stuff in our apartment.
I mean, do you have like certain types of people that you have fantasies about that you might want to hook up with?
Mmm.
Not particularly, no.
Well, I'm just about to take.
Okay. I mean, have you ever like?
He's like, bro, I gotta step out. This
we
just
do
getting
realize
weird.
Everything you tell us, we fact check regardless of what you tell us. So,
Yeah, I know.
like stuff like YouTube videos that you've seen
Okay.
regarding Asian women. Do you like videos of Asian women? Like Korean women?
Like K-pop songs and stuff. I mean,
Maybe.
I like all types of women,
Okay.
and that's the truth. So I don't have an Asian fetish.
But something drew your eye to her because
Just trust.
you were cruising all over.
Now he's
and
insinuating that he did prey upon her and take her. He's insinuating that now.
If she was truly distressed, I mean, there was an e-phone stand right behind her. She could have pushed that button and got help. And she didn't ask you for help, per se. She asked, she needed to get to, she was late for something.
Yeah.
And that's, so you offered to give her a ride.
Mm-hmm.
You're a smart man. You have a PhD, right?
Masters.
Masters. Oh, you still have a PhD.
Masters.
You're still a smart man, is my point. So you have to understand how technology works.
Wait, is master's worse than PhD?
How do you think I knew that she Googled the address to 1 North? How do you think I knew that? 1 minute after getting in your car, how do you think I knew that? We know that she didn't get out of your car. You need to be honest with us. Help us put this to rest. Help us bring her back to her family. You can do that. You can do that. You can do it right now.
I understand if you've had dark thoughts. I understand if you've been depressed.
Oh, he's bringing it back up.
I understand if you've had.
There's only 1 year,
sadistic
PhD is 3 years.
thoughts, wondered
Ah,
whether you would
okay.
commit an act of violence. I know that temptation is out there. I need to find her. I know she got in your car. You went with her. You've been depressed. Your wife just left to go on a vacation with another man. You see her. She gets in. She's vulnerable. Let me find her.
I think I've told you.
Okay, so did she get back in your car then?
No.
Did you get out of the car and follow her?
No.
My hands are cold.
Definitely not. I didn't get on my car single time.
Why not? Was it because of the kind of neighborhood you were in?
Oh yeah,
So,
them Asians
Did
are
she run away
crazy.
from you? Did she stand there?
no, she stood there, looked at her phone, and I drove away.
Were you attracted to her at all?
Reasonable amount.
I mean, she's a good-looking girl. Did the thought cross your mind?
Yeah, the thought crossed my mind, but it probably happened with anyone.
I mean, maybe she's into that. Is my point. And I'm not judging you if she got in your car. and
Yo.
She wanted to have go to another location.
This
You guys
guy
go
is on one,
have some
bro.
fun, roll around, have sex, consensual sex. Something happens. You panic. Is that a possibility? You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
So you're telling me you never had sex with her?
I never had sex with her.
Never penetrated her with your fingers?
Bro, what is
Any parts of
this
her body?
guy, dude?
Penis?
No.
With your fingers?
No.
Never had sex
He's
with
a
her?
horn dog.
Okay. Are you afraid? Are you afraid to tell me if you did? Because it seems like you're trying to think instead of just answer the question. You're trying to think about 3 steps forward,
Well,
like where I'm going with it. And I think I've
Do you play
demonstrated
chess by any
enough.
chance?
I've shared enough with you that you know that I know that you didn't drop her off in that neighborhood. You know that we can follow her phone.
Damn.
So where did you drop her off at?
Where'd you take her, Brent?
The suspect maintained his innocence and was released without charge,
Scare
but was
tactic,
immediately
yeah.
placed under surveillance at the completion of this interrogation. 4 days later, the FBI reached out to his girlfriend, Tara Bullis, who agreed to wear a listening device and attempt to get him to open up About Yin Ying's disappearance
Oh my
and his
God.
potential involvement. This
That's
arranged
crazy.
strategy turned out to be a total success, and
What?
Brendt Christensen was arrested on June 30th, exactly 2 weeks after his
Dude, show the
interrogation.
recording, please.
An FBI agent testified that
Why
Brendt
do we not have the recording to that? I want to hear it. That is crazy.
Christensen's girlfriend became a key part of the case
Yeah,
when she agreed
what
to
a
record
bitch.
conversations she had with him and the
Yo,
weeks
what a
following
snitch.
Yin Zhang's
Can't
disappearance.
trust no
A total of
female.
9 recordings came from that. At first, he denied
Remember,
guilt
boys, if you
and
ever
told
murder
her
somebody,
everything would be okay.
don't
But
you
then
ever
on June
tell your girl.
29th,
She's gonna
after a
snitch on
night
you.
of drinking, he described killing Zhang in detail.
Jesus
Investigators say
Christ.
the final recordings were made the day of a memorial walk and concert for the missing Yin
He's
Zhang,
literally
an
right
event
there.
that Christensen actually attended with his then girlfriend. What he didn't know is that girlfriend was wearing an FBI recording device. On the walk home, the two began to talk about the crime. I cut her clothes off and just started doing stuff to her, he said. Earlier in the conversation, he said, she was resilient. I tried to choke her to death, but she didn't. I choked her for what must have been 10 minutes. Then I released her breath. I couldn't believe she was still alive. Christensen said he hit Zhang in the head with a bat and stabbed her, and she was still alive, so he decapitated her. Prosecutors say the recordings
Oh my
show that Christensen
God.
bragged about killing 12 other people, but they have no other evidence of more victims. Ying
What?
decapitated her. Prosecutors say the recordings show that Christensen bragged about killing 12 other people, but they have no other evidence of more victims.
What?
Ying is the only person that has produced evidence that leads back to me. Number 13, he said. I've been at this since I was 19.
What
He told his
the?
girlfriend he had been wanting to talk to someone about it and he wanted to kill more people. I still want to do it, he said. It's my legacy. And as if this has not been hard enough for Zhang's family, some of them were in the courtroom today. Zhang's father kept his eyes closed during that recording. Christensen was mostly expressionless. His defense team has tried to paint him as a man with mental health and substance abuse issues who does not deserve the death penalty. The trial continues next week.
What?
It's a step toward justice for Yin Zhang. The man who kidnapped and killed her is guilty. Good evening, I'm Paul Chiquini.
He is a maniac. He definitely deserves a
jury took
fucking
less
death
than
penalty.
2 hours to convict Brendt Christensen of abducting and killing Zhang and lying to the FBI about it. She was last seen June 9th, 2017, getting into his
Jesus
black Saturn
Christ.
Astra on the U of I campus. Christensen faces either life in prison or the death penalty.
Brendt Christensen, the convicted killer of Chinese scholar Yin Zhang, will spend the rest of his life in prison because a federal jury couldn't decide if he should be sentenced to die.
The judge certainly didn't mince words in his final statements. CBS 2's Tara Molina is live in the newsroom with more on that decision tonight. Tara.
At least he gets life, though.
This is the same jury that found Christensen guilty of
Let's show him the
kidnapping
jokes, by the way,
and
man.
killing Zhang.
This is serious,
They couldn't
you know?
come to a unanimous decision on the death penalty, and the judge certainly didn't mince his words. In his final statements to Christensen, he said, quote, "The mercy extended to you by this jury is a testament to their humanity, not your character."
Brendt Christensen
Damn.
is currently serving his sentence at the maximum security Statesville Correctional Center in Illinois. Despite the FBI recordings, he maintains his innocence to this day. The body of Ying Zhang is yet to be recovered.
Jesus Christ. You've been caught. You've said that you've done it. You know, the least you could do is tell them where the body was. The least you could do. What a terrible person, dude. Yeah, how do you get away with 12 other murders being that idiotic and that fucking stupid? Holy shit, man. That pisses me off, dude. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.